What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former WBC super welterweight, junior middleweight, world champion, superstar boxer, Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison is 29 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 21 wins by way of knockout. 3 times in his career he has knocked out, 32 years of age, 6 feet tall with a 77-inch arm reach. He's filling in as a replacement for a rival of his that he fought twice in now undisputed 3-time junior middleweight, super welterweight world champion, who's the undisputed world champion, superstar boxer, top 5 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Jamel Lions Only Charlo, okay? Tony Harrison is filling in for Jamel Charlo, oddly enough, who broke his hand, and he was set to face off against his mandatory in undefeated, son of a legend, junior middleweight, super welterweight, superstar title contender from Australia in Tszyu. 21 wins, no loss, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'8" with a 72-inch arm reach. Now, Jamel Charlo and Tszyu was supposed to face off against one another. Jamel Charlo and Tony Harrison have history, as Tony Harrison is the first one to put a blemish on Jamel Charlo's resume, okay? Jamel Charlo is now 35 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 19 wins by way of knockout, 32 years of age, 6 feet tall with a 73-inch arm reach, okay? So Tony Harrison, they have history. The first loss on Jamel Charlo's record came back in December of 2018, and Tony Harrison won a unanimous decision. They fought again December of 2019, almost a year to the date. The 21st, the first fight was December 22nd. The second fight was December 21st. And Jamel Charlo got 11th round knockout victory in a fight that some people thought that Tony Harrison was actually winning the fight. He's one of the best pure boxers in the division. He's tall, he's rangy, he got respectable power. With that said, Jamel Charlo, Tszyu was supposed to face off against one another. And Jamel Charlo suffered a broken hand, and Tony Harrison is filling in because Tszyu didn't want to sit on the shelf. I think that Tszyu and his team made a drastic mistake picking Tony Harrison, who's motivated. Now, he's going to have the advantage. The fight is going to take place in Australia. But I think they made a huge mistake choosing Tony Harrison. Okay, Tony Harrison is 5 inches taller than Tszyu. Okay, he has a 5-inch arm reach advantage over Tszyu. He has respectable power, and he's just a better pure boxer, right? The problem, the knock on Tony Harrison is this, is that he fades in the second half of fights. And he's identified that, right? Whether that be a lapse of focus or just fatiguing. And he stated that making weight has not always been easy and been an issue that's seen him suffer in the second half of fights. In all his losses. Now, in the fight with Jamel Charlo, his last loss, when he got knocked out, he lost focus. He started playing around, showboating, and Jamel Charlo clipped him and knocked him down a few times and ended up knocking him out, okay? He was winning a fight against Swift Jarrett Hurd back in February of 2017. And he's fatigued. I thought he was running away with the fight, outboxing Swift Jarrett Hurd. And in the 9th round, he got knocked out because he fatigued. He faded, right? He was winning a fight back in July of 2015 against Willie Nelson. And once again, in the second half of the fight, and in the 9th round, again, like in a Hurd fight, he gets knocked out. Fades in the second half of the fight. Another fight, he's running away and outboxing, and he fades in the second half, and he gets knocked out. Then he had the fight back in April of 2021. This was during the pandemic. He lost his dad. He had a draw with Brian Perella, okay? A guy he should have outboxed. Then he came back, he fought Sergio Garcia. He looked beautiful, outboxing Sergio Garcia. And I personally think that that's the version of Tony Harrison you're going to see tonight against Tszyu, okay? Now, Tszyu, in his last fight, March of 2022, he fought against Terrell Goucher, a rough, rugged tough contender, right? And he was dropped in this fight. And he showed a lot of holes in his game, okay? He showed a lot of holes in his game, right? He's the son of a legend, Tszyu, right? He beat Jeff Horn by an 8th round knockout. He beat Dennis Hogan by a 5th round knockout. Some notable names, right? And but when he fought Terrell Goucher, he showed some major flaws, in my opinion, okay? He was dropped in the fight. He showed that if you're aggressive, you can have a lot of success against him. And he also showed that if you use your jab and movement, he struggles against that. Tony Harrison is the ultimate boxer with the ultimate jab and has great movement. Again, Tszyu has power, right? Now, Tszyu in 21 fights has 15 knockouts, right? He has power. He's aggressive. He puts physical and mental pressure on you, but he can be outboxed. But can that physical and mental pressure break Tony Harrison once again in the second half of the fight? That'll see Tszyu catch up. I think in the first half of this fight, if Tony Harrison chooses to box, he's going to box circles around Tszyu. But if Tony Harrison fades in the second half of this fight due to the pressure that Tszyu is going to put on and due to the movement that he's going to apply himself, that may see Tony Harrison fade in the second half of the fight, Tszyu catch up to him, and then ultimately stop him, because that's a strong possibility. So my final prediction is that Tony Harrison is going to win a split decision tonight over Tszyu. I think that because you're in Tszyu's backyard, because he's going to have moments putting pressure on Tony Harrison, I think he's going to catch Tony Harrison with big punches every now and then. But I think for the most part, Tony Harrison's movement, his ring IQ, his jab, his length, his hand speed is going to be a problem for Tszyu in this fight. And as long as he don't fade, I think that Tony Harrison is going to win the split decision over Tszyu. And I think we're going to see Jermell Charlo versus Tony Harrison part 3, okay? With the buildup for the second fight was enormous, right? It was epic. So I think we're going to see a part 3. So I think that Tony Harrison is motivated for this fight. I think that Tszyu and his team, because it's a homecoming fight, Tony Harrison has been knocked out in the past. You know, they feel like they can duplicate that. And Tszyu has said that. He said that he's been knocked out, and I think we can do it, right? So I believe that they believe that they could knock him out. Now, again, like I said, if Tony Harrison fades in the second half, or he chooses to stand in the pocket with Tszyu, then he's going to get knocked out. But if he uses his boxing ability, uses his movement like he did with Jermell Charlo in the first fight, in the first half of the fight, in the second fight, and against Garcia in the last fight, he's going to outbox Tszyu and he's going to win a split decision. So I'm interested to see how it unfolds. Let's see how it unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.